Okay, at 7 o'clock, I'd like to call to order the Zoning Board of Appeals, Village of Bartlett, Counties of Cook, DuPage, and Kane. Please call the roll.
George Koziel,
Here.
Joe Bano,
Here.
Bob Picaro,
Here.
Michelle Sarwas,
Here.
Charlie DeVoe,
Here.
Mike Werden.
Here. You have before you the minutes from the joint special meeting between the Zoning Board of Appeals and the Plan Commission from July 1st, 2021. Chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by George, seconded by Bob. Second. Maybe it was the other way around. Please call the roll.
Joe Bano,
Yes.
Bob Picaro,
Yes.
Michelle Sarwas,
Yes.
Charlie DeVoe,
Yes.
George Koziel,
Yes.
Mike Werden.
Yes. Okay, the petitioners, if there's anyone that's going to speak that is not the petitioner, there are forms up there to fill out so that we don't have to swear you in. First item is number 21-19, 985 Auburn Lane. Are the petitioners here? Yes. Okay, please come up to the microphone. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly affirm that the evidence you're about to give is only the whole truth?
Yes.
Do we have the evidence of the mailings, the newspaper publication, and the picture of the sign?
Yes, we do.
Mark those exhibits A, B, and C. Okay, state your name and address for the record, and then present your case.
Tony Zampano, 1452. You want my address or the?
Are you representing somebody?
Yes, I'm representing the whole.
Okay, you can give your business address, that's fine.
1452 Mackenzie Lane in Elgin. We petitioned for a variance for an existing sunroom on 985 Auburn Lane. And what I presented as evidence is that at the time that the home was built, I believe in 85 or 86, there was a survey given to the village of Bartlett that basically was not by a registered land surveyor. It was, I think, by the builder. And basically, it was just like an 8.5 by 11 piece or 11 by 17. Basically, the builder sketched out where the home and the sunroom was to be, which is that right there. So what had happened is when I applied to redo the sunroom, because it was completely rotted out.
Oh.
So we were just not going to change the footprint at all. It was, the foundation was going to stay the same, everything was going to stay. The village of Bartlett required a survey. So I hired a registered land surveyor, which is that right there, which I have. And come to find out that the house encroaches in the building line all the way around, including the sunroom.
Okay.
So at this point, we're like, well, wait a minute. This thing was given to the village of Bartlett when the home was built and it was approved. Now here we are trying to redo the sunroom to make it habitable, and we can't do it. They said, you need to get a variance. I go, well, wait a minute. I said, I built in Bartlett at that time. We started building in 85 in Bartlett. And they required a registered land surveyor to do a proposed foundation. There was a protocol that we followed. And for some reason, this was not followed. So now here is my homeowner trying to redo her sunroom. And basically, the house, she can't even sell the house because of what happened. Right. So we're here right now saying, well, wait a minute, this is not her fault. She's only trying to improve her own home, trying to follow all the guidelines. And so I don't know what happened back at that time, what happened with the building department. I don't know what the protocol was to, as far as when you brought a plan. I just know when I was building there, they required these documents. And for some reason, with this builder that built her home, and I think he built quite a few at that time, I don't know what happened. I don't know if they didn't require it, they overlooked it, if you know, I'm not going to say he had special favors, but it's, you know, I don't know. I'm presenting it to you for you to see what was going on. So I gave everything to Devin as far as what I got from the village, what kind of survey they had on file. This is our survey that I had done to show that the house encroaches that was approved back when the home was built. And we just want to go forward on rebuilding the sunroom that has the existing foundation. We're not changing anything. We're requesting an approval. So basically, that's all I have to say. I don't think there's anything else. I mean, if you need the evidence that I have, I mean, I have it. I presented it to Devin. As you see, is what I have right now.
This is basically just to bring the house into conformance.
Right, because this is, we don't know what happened, but basically, we're not here to penalize you.
80s.
Pardon me?
It was the 80s.
Yes.
No, the mid-'80s. It wasn't the early, it was the mid-'80s.
Any questions from anyone on the board? Okay, just for formality, we'll open it up to the public. Does anyone in the public have any? This is sometimes what we call a housekeeping thing, where we're just going to pretty much, I mean,
I did
let you
have
build
one
what, let you restore what you had.
Yeah, what is the protocol now? It's been a while since I've been in front of the board to request a variance. What's the next step? I mean, are we approved after tonight's vote, or?
I'm presuming we're going to unanimously approve this, and it'll go on to the village board. And will it be on before the end of the year?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll be in contact with you just to let you know if we need to go to the 2 meetings or just the one, but yeah.
okay, that'd be great.
This is a formality, and typically something happened in the process years ago. Who knows what happened, but now you're just trying to restore what was there. You're not changing the footprint. You're not doing anything, just restoring. Any motions from the board?
I would make a motion to send a positive recommendation to the village board to approve number 2021-19, the 985 Auburn Lane property.
It's been moved by George. Any seconds?
I'll second.
Seconded by Michelle. At this point, we shall close the public hearing. Any further discussion? Again, housekeeping amendment. Okay, let's call the roll.
Bob Picaro,
Yes.
Michelle Sarwas,
Yes.
Charlie DeVoe,
Yes.
George Koziel,
Yes.
Joe Bano,
Yes.
Mike Worden.
Yes. Okay, we shall pass on a positive recommendation to the board. Stay in touch with Devin to find out when it appears on the agenda. I don't anticipate a problem. Tell people that we're real easy to get along. You have firsthand knowledge. Next item on the agenda, case 2114, temporary use and outdoor dining text amendments.
Currently, outdoor seating.
We're on the next item.
Currently, outdoor seating for restaurants and bars requires a special use permit in the zoning ordinance. Due to COVID restrictions, the village temporarily relaxed the outdoor seating regulations and allowed temporary outdoor dining without having to go through the special use process. Temporary outdoor permits were required for restaurants that had even obtained the outdoor dining during this time period. Staff attached copies of the listings of every restaurant that has obtained a special use permit for outdoor seating, as well as the restaurants that had temporary outdoor dining permits. Staff has, in addition to temporary outdoor dining areas, staff received requests to allow other temporary uses during the pandemic, including medical testing facilities in the parking lot. As staff has researched temporary uses, we have found that other municipalities and counties have started adopting temporary use sections in their zoning ordinance so that we can review things that aren't intended to be permanent changes to the site. So staff is recommending that we add text amendments to the zoning ordinance to allow the outdoor seating, outdoor dining as an accessory use, which would eliminate them having to go through the special use process if they're using an existing private sidewalk in front of a restaurant, or if it's going to be within like a patio area. We are also looking at adding the temporary use chapter, which would allow restaurants, if they wanted to temporarily put outdoor dining, say, in their parking lot or on the public sidewalk in downtown. Right now, we.
These are pasta meat.
Correct. So we're trying to see how we can accommodate places and still make sure that staff gets to do a review and ensure safety, ADA compliance, make sure that everything is in order. It's something that the restaurants have found very beneficial during COVID, and some of them would like to continue that.
Especially with Omicron coming up.
Correct. But this makes it a permanent thing that people could ask for. If they wanted to ask for it every year, they could. And for example, Pasta Mia, right now, they're currently in the parking lot. Right now, it's not a parking issue. Say things change in a few years and suddenly it is a parking issue, then we would be able to say, okay, we can't approve the temporary use any longer because the situations have changed.
And you would basically be able to do that without a lot of notice?
Correct.
Yes.
So right now, a lot of times restaurants want to apply for a special use to do outdoor seating. They don't think about it typically until April. They have to go through a special use process, which takes 4 months, which pretty much wipes out that year of them having the opportunity. So that's why we thought making it accessory use would be beneficial.
Yes. Especially in this last 2 years when things have really, our lives have gone upside down in some cases.
Yes.
It makes a lot of sense.
And it's something the zoning administrator would review for the temporary use permits. So not just for restaurants, we also looked at doing the medical testing, temporary sales. If you recall, a few years ago, there was a farmer's market that was set up in front of Bartlett Commons. They had to go through a special use permit, which is really granting that use permanently. And it really is something that we should be able to look at annually to see if it's appropriate in that location or not.
So if there's a flagrant violation or some health or safety issue, you're able to go, just much like the code enforcement officer with signs in the yard, right?
Yes.
You can just move them.
Yes.
Okay.
Were the requirements that are presented in the new text amendment, is that the requirements that have been requested when the special use for each restaurant was looked at?
Before, with the special uses, we just looked for a pretty generic site plan. We're actually asking for more information now for the temporary use ones. The ones that are accessory, we would still ask the same information. Just show us where the tables and chairs are. But when you're doing something in the parking lot or on a public sidewalk, we want to know more information.
So all the sidewalks that are in front of all the restaurants, like, for example, the streets of Bartlett, those are public sidewalks?
Those are private.
They're
That's
private.
private property, so they would be allowed to put in a seating area
Okay,
without having to get a temporary use permit. They would be able to put out tables and chairs if they wanted to. And then code enforcement, if we got a complaint about ADA, code enforcement would just go out and make sure that they have the ADA clearance that's required.
okay. I noticed on page 6 of the memo 21-100, item B states that everything cannot be anchored into the sidewalk.
That is on public sidewalks, so that's really
strictly
just
public.
along Bartlett Avenue
Okay,
is where we're looking at that, where that's the public, we're the ones that have to do the snow removal.
right.
So that is going to be restricted. We have
So in
restrictions,
front of J.C.'s and
J.C.'s, TL's,
T.L.'s, okay.
and any other future restaurants.
Okay, so yeah, all right, you answered my question. All right, and then I have a question, there's I guess it's just a grammatical thing. On page 5, B13, it says it is the, I'm not sure how that fits. Is it responsible or responsibility?
Responsibility.
Okay, thank you.
We will make that change.
I did read my homework.
This seems like a really good idea. Looking back and seeing how things worked in the past, we learned a lot. And this just makes it easier. It puts it into a document that that businesses can reference. And I think it's good for the business and the village and the public. So I'm really in favor of something like this. It seems like a very positive move.
It just seemed that the way of, the old way of making someone require a special use permit for outdoor seating was overly burdensome on the restaurant owner. It was time, it took a great deal of time. It cost $300. This is only, $25.
And you almost never turn them down.
Right, right.
So it's ridiculous to make them jump through hoops, especially when they don't think of it until it starts hitting 60, 70 degrees out, and it's too late for that year because of delays in the system.
So are they going to, the people that have it out, for example, Pasta Mia, now do they have to request a new variance or whatever for 2022?
So if they are proposing to have seating in the parking lot, they would have to get a temporary permit
Okay.
to allow that. But if they're keeping it on the private sidewalk that they
Okay.
have or patio area, they would not.
Okay, thank you.
And they already had a special use permit anyway for outdoor seating.
Right.
Yes, that, I figured they did.
Yeah.
They're doubly covered.
Yes,
They're a poster child for the zoning.
right. But I mean, technically, anyone in a shopping center, like a Dairy Queen, put some tables out, technically, they should have gone through the special use process. And, I mean, to put out, a picnic table, it seems like a lot of hoops to jump through for a small business like that.
Okay, we shall open it up to the public. Any further discussion or motions?
I'll make a motion to send a positive recommendation for the new text amendment 2021-14 for temporary use and outdoor dining, text amendment.
Okay, now that there's a motion on the table, this is when I should be closing the public hearing. See, it's been-
And we have our notice, because it was published in
Oh,
the,
yeah, mailings, newspaper, and picture sign.
just publication.
Mark that Exhibit A. Okay, so now the public hearing is, we have a motion, public hearing's closed, motion's on the table. Any second?
Second it,
Second by
either one of us.
Joe? Okay. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Michelle Sarwas,
Yes.
Charlie DeVoe,
Yes?
George Koziel,
Yes?
Joe Bano,
Yes.
Bob Bacaro,
Yes.
Mike Werden.
Yes. Very good. You'll know when it goes to the village board. I don't have to tell you to stay in touch with anyone. Okay, any new business, old business?
Friday. Has everybody RSVP'd?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we hope to see you there. And then we do have a meeting next, in January. Actually, we have an item on, the Wheaton Eye Clinic.
Wow.
It's coming your way.
What was that?
The Wheaton Eye Clinic.
Oh, yeah.
What date is that fall on?
What's the date, Deb?
New Year's is a Saturday.
Is it the 4th?
Second, third, fourth, the sixth, I think.
You guys have calendars right on your dais,
Yeah.
It would be the 6th.
the 6th. Let us know if you can't make it.
I'm probably not going to be.
Okay. Make sure Michelle's not going to make it. so.
Wheaton Eye Clinic is going down at the far south end of the Home Depot shopping center.
I'm sorry, what was that?
It's,
They're in the fifth, it
They're-
was
The third
formerly
bank.
the fifth third bank.
It's existing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're currently already in the building.
yes.
they're doing an addition.
In addition, and expanding the parking lot to meet the requirements.
Okay.
Yeah. I may not be able to make next month. I won't know until probably the end of this month.
Okay. Let's not have any more resignations or people going out of town. Yes. Anything else? Any motions to adjourn?
A motion to adjourn?
Moved by Michelle to adjourn, any second?
Second.
George, okay, seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention?
Merry Christmas.
Yes. Merry Christmas. Oh, we'll see you all.
We gave you your little bags tonight for to say thank you, and we appreciate all of your hard work during the year. So,
Thank you.
yeah. So
Thank you.
just a
Very
little,
kind.
just a small token.
Thank you.
Very kind of you. All right. Now, it told me I didn't close this down correctly before.
If anybody's looking for something to do Saturday evening, well, Saturday day, I am Santa Claus at the Horse Barn. But Saturday evening, Auburn, not to take away from Bartlett, has a Christmas walk shopping in their downtown area. And it's a lot of fun if you haven't been to Auburn. So, and they have a jazz studio in town there too.
That'd be nice.